Imagine you're a businessman and you're like watching the stock on your business that you've built, and then it has like a little dip, and you're like, well, better sell my left kidney and move off the grid because I can't be paying taxes, my business is falling off, and put my family up for adoption and make a little bit of money. But now imagine that you're a person who just found out about meditation and you think, whoa, this is really cool, I need to start meditating every day. And so you start meditating every day and you're like really going up and your progress is amazing, and then you have like a little bit rut and you like forget to meditate for a couple days and you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do, bro? I stopped meditating. I haven't been meditating for 5 days. Crazy. But the thing is, progress looks a lot like the stock graph. So you're basically just like the businessman who's seeing like a little dip in his stock progress that's going up and fearing the worst. You see the line of your progress and you see this little dip where you had this 5 days of meditation. Over the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter. But you are so focused on like consistency that you get way like over dramatic and you never start up again. And that's how you stay in a rut. But I can tell you how to get out of one. And the main point is that consistency isn't always going up and never making a mistake, but having a general upward trend. Now if you imagine again that you like just found out about a good habit, let's say it's going to the gym, and so it's like the start of the new year, whatever, you make your New Year's resolution, I'm gonna go to the gym more, and so you sign up and whatever. How many times do you think you'll go in that first year? I'm not like talking about like some stereotype or something, but like how many times do you think you'd go in that first year? If you said anything over like 150, you're lying. It's like max you'll probably go is 125. Like over 150 that's lying. Like you couldn't really do that. And it sounds kind of weird, but progress is not really day to day or like week to week. It's more like month to month, year to year even. Because as I said, your life is your progress is kind of like a stock graph. And when you view it as day to day or week to week, you're really zooming in on it. And so when it's day to day, like if you didn't do really good today, then all you see is this dip. And you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I'm going way down. You have to view it as like this long-term progress to actually see the trend that I was talking about. If you view it, if you view success as like, if I had met my goal for this week or whatever, that's like, it's a pretty good way to view success. But if you don't zoom out every now and then and you really view success as how many times did I go to the gym this whole year compared to last year, or this month compared to last month, that's how you really see it. And even if you're using months, you kind of want to like plot it out. There's a little thing here where I track habits, and you see how many you did them in a month, or how many days you didn't do a bad habit in the month. You almost track it out in a graph, and you see over a year how much better you were than last year. And in this way, consistency becomes more of like the mindset that you just need to take like the first step, the next step, rather than going from 0 to 100 immediately. If you're the guy who just found out about the gym, how many times did you go to the gym last year? 0. Absolutely none. Or let's take a different example. Just you. What did you do in 2015? Did you do any of the good habits in 2015? For me, I was 5 years old. I did not do any of the good habits in 2015. Okay. Last year, did you do any of the good habits? You might have done some. Okay. But then that doesn't mean you have to do 365 of them this year, every single day. You can set really good goals for yourself, but you have to realize consistency isn't going straight from 0 to 100, but more going slowly getting there. You're doing it for life. It's gonna take a while. You shouldn't worry about being in a rut because it's natural to kind of fall off self-improvement for a little bit. But as long as you have this upward trend, you're fine. We should know how to get out of a rut. Everybody knows about progressive overload in the gym. Like, you can't just walk in on the first day and bench 200 pounds just because that guy over there can't. You have to start with the empty bar and then add like a little bit of weight every week until you can bench 200 pounds, and you build up to it. And that's what you have to do with every aspect of life. You build up to it. You start with the 1 minute of meditation that's really hard and you really don't want to do it, or the 10-second cold shower, and you build it up to a minute of cold shower, or the hour of deep work that you build up to 3 hours of deep work. You have to build it up, and so when you get into a rut, you kind of fall off of everything and you do a lot less. You're like, I did 10 minutes of meditation, 2 hours of deep work, and a full workout last week. Why am I not doing that this week? And you're like really stressed about it. But the thing is, the only way you're gonna get out of the rut is not by trying to do the full workout, the 10 minutes of meditation, and the 2 hours of deep work. It's gonna be too hard. You're doing nothing and it's hard to jump straight to where you were before. You have to build back up to it. It doesn't mean you have to start from zero again. You don't have to start with 10 seconds meditation and build up to your 10 minutes. Just add a couple seconds a week and take like a year to get out of it. You don't have to make ruts that detrimental. You just have to lower the bar of entry. You can't have it way up here where you have to go back to what you were doing last week. You just have to set it low enough that you can do it. And then you can build up pretty fast because you've done it before. Starting with 3 minutes of meditation would be easy. And you could add 30 seconds a week, and soon enough you're doing 10 again. Starting with just like a couple push-ups and like a couple pull-ups or something would be really easy if you did a full workout last week. And it might even like spiral into something else. But the point is that you're lowering the bar of entry enough. It sounds kind of like pussy advice, but you need to get it back down, otherwise you're never going to get out of it. Otherwise you're never going to get out of the rut. So if you can lower the bar, even though it sounds, and most people's ego will get ahead of them here and be like, well, I can do way more than that. But truth is, if you're in a rut and you're having a real problem with it, you can't. You need to start with the low bar and build it up. You need to start with the empty bar and build up to the 200 pounds. Self-improvement is for life. You have your entire life to do it. It's a lifestyle, not just like a phase. So when you get into a rut, it's just part of your trend. The faster you can get out of it, like the more progress you'll make. And since self-improvement is for life, you need to think long-term. And so even though you want to jump right back to the workout that you're doing, it's better to build back up to it because you'll actually be more consistent. You'll get back to there and your trend will be more like an upward line rather than you trying to do it and failing. And basically just have to build up to where you were. And then you can build beyond where you used to be and to where you want to be. Now I know I said ruts are like a part of life, and they are, but if you can lessen like the damage that they do and almost entirely avoid them, like that'd just be a better thing, right? They're just a dip in your upward trend, but if you can almost erase that dip or at least make it smaller, that'd be great, right? So what you need to do is set like a baseline. When you get into a rut, you get sick, somebody breaks up with you, you go on vacation, you fall back down to zero, you fall to where you were before. You've never actually set a baseline. And so you just fall back down to your natural baseline of just zero, where you started from. But if ruts are a part of life, then you need to set a baseline because they're going to happen. You're preparing for the future. So when you set this baseline, it doesn't have to be like something extreme, but it will like be relative to how much you can do in a day. So for me, it's just like, it's really simple. Just like 10 push-ups, like 1 mindful breath, and like a grateful thought or something. I can always do the 10 push-ups, even if I'm sick and tired. If I'm on vacation, I can always do 10 push-ups. It's just you're never gonna fall back down to 0 and not be able to get started again. That's the whole point. And so this can really shorten ruts because obviously when you fall down, if you're not falling as far, it's easier to build back up. But for me, the most important point here, and probably for you too, is that I do the 10 push-ups and I'm warmed up. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go hit more. And I don't maybe not do the full workout, but I get pretty close. Probably do the full workout. It almost prevents the ruts entirely that way. It's because you're doing, like, you're not falling down to 0. It's basically you've already started. You don't even have to lower the bar because you already started with the low bar, and it's like, might as well do the rest. You do the 1 mindful breath and you're like, I could do some more. You might not do the full 5 minutes, but like, you can at least do 3. And then you don't have less, you have less to climb up, and it's just easier to get back. So Ruben's lifestyle, and so it's for life. It's gonna have ups and downs, but you don't need to worry, because as long as you're still headed up, you're still consistent. Make it happen.